Hey, g'day, my name's Josh here from Physique Essentials. Thank you so much for flying past and checking out this free training. It is why high-performing men, maybe just like yourself, are struggling to get lean and what is actually working these days after the age of 40. I'm going to be sharing with you a smarter system for building a lean, fit, strong physique without living in the gym 24/7. Now, I do appreciate that you're busy, so if you don't mind, I want to jump straight in. Scribble notes as you go. Also, too, you'll be able to review this training as many times as possible, and hopefully what I share is going to have an impact into your results. All right, let's jump straight in. Now, the problem itself, and the reasons why you may be here, you're training regularly, you're trying to eat well, you're trying to take care of all the responsibilities that you got. Like, you are putting in a real solid effort. It's not like you've never committed before. It's not like you're trying to get after it. But no matter what you do, you just cannot seem to get the results that you're after. Essentially, your physique does not reflect the standards that you have set in other aspects of your life. Now, the truth is most of the guys I chat to, they're not. It's not because they lack discipline. It's not because you lack discipline or anything like that. It's simply because the approach that you may be following today is essentially not built for you, for your goals, your responsibilities, and everything else that's going on in your world. So hopefully, while, as I said, I can share some real impact into what's going to help you today. Okay, now I'm just going to keep going through. We're going to scroll down here. So essentially, the way this presentation is going to work, I've identified that there's three key areas, that may be preventing you from getting the results that you want. And then also too, I'm going to share with you a simple 5-step framework that you'll be able to implement into your own results or in your own training, starting today to deliver the results that you want. All right. So number one of these three key mistakes you may be making. So it's chasing the bro science. That's number one. Now, this is a very broad category. It really does summarize almost everything that you do see social media. It summarizes all the latest trends, the latest habits, the latest quick fix programs, all that sort of stuff, random workouts, diet hacks, supplements that promise the absolute earth. Essentially, it's either lackluster bullshit advice, or it's essentially being given to you from a 20-year-old. So it's, for 20-year-olds who have got unlimited resources, time, responsibility, all that sort of stuff. Not essentially busy men who have got families, careers, and real shit to deal with, right? Number two is the more is better trap. We've always been told that, good is good, but more is better. So that means, more workouts, it's more restriction, it is more intensity. But as we know, after the age of 40 and onwards, and again, this isn't just simply, like once you hit 40 and the wheels fall off. It's just that as we do get older, we do get hit with, more responsibilities. There's more things that we also need to do within our day. But there are real things like burnout, injury, stored fat loss, and stuff like that. It does affect us. Now, training harder for the sake of training harder isn't always the answer. It's about training smarter. And not that doesn't just come down to programming, but it really is about what suits your goals, your preferences, and your overall lifestyle. Now, the last one here is the challenge cycle. Now, that means like your 6-week shreds, your 8-week transformations, your short-term programs. It's the abundance of over-promise and under-deliver. Now, yes, sure, look, I'll play devil's advocate. Like, if you're going to the gym and they're launching a summer challenge and everyone gets involved in it, then it can create some community and stuff like that. But essentially what the challenge does, it only compounds steps 1 and 2. You are more likely to believe more batshit crazy advice. You are more likely to just go harder. You know what I mean? Like, you got to do it. You got to do whatever I need to do because it only goes for 6 weeks. So I'm going to get my shreds. And will you get leaner if you do the work? Sure. But it really comes down to the sustainability. It's about keeping those results. How many times maybe you've done a challenge in the past, and the very first thing that you want to do as soon as you finish is reward yourself. You want to go, have a few beers, eat a pizza, skip a few workouts. So essentially what you're doing is rewarding yourself with the habits that you really haven't corrected because you've just been smashing out something because the trainer said so. So again, as we summarize that, Number one is the bro science. Number two, more is better. And number three, challenges. Look, the solution here, the real solution is being able to create something that's going to support and sustain your lifestyle. And it's going to make your results predictable, sustainable, and most importantly, repeatable. Okay, because then you can just keep winning indefinitely. Now, how you do that is with the 5 principles I share within this training. So, number one is ownership. Now, real transformation, real change starts with you making a decision. Now, this is not just about committing to another program. It's not like, okay, cool, starting Monday, I'm going to start my new fat loss program, or I'm going to go on a diet, or I'm going to buy the supplements. Okay. It's not about that. It's not about waiting for motivation or anything like that. It's about taking ownership, full ownership and full responsibility of the journey towards the outcomes that you want. Because real change and real transformation will happen irrespective of the program. It's going to happen irrespective of the diet. Like, different challenges and obstacles happen along our way. It's no matter what. What you are doing is simply making the commitment to be the best that you can be. That is it. It goes beyond beyond a training plan. Okay, I really want to emphasize this, where you are essentially drawing the line in the sand. I'm taking ownership over my health, my body, my standards, my goals, everything. And I simply want to be the best that I can be, without excuses, without exemptions, just getting after it. Now, once you've made that declaration, once you've made that decision, we need to understand the truth of why you are not there already. Because most men think, if they come something like this, I need to lose 10 kilos. They think the problem is that they've got 10 kilos that they need to lose. But the real problem is, why is that 10 kilos there in the first place? Okay. So until you identify what the real cause is, it could come down to incongruent training, which is related to your goals. It could come down to poor recovery, nutritional gaps, poor eating in general, lacking of structure, consistency, whatever it is. Until you discover what's actually keeping you in this funk and keeping you in this loop, because you can commit to any program, you can lose the weight, but it always comes back plus more. Why does it come back plus more? Why is it that the habits and the routines that you've said you got to commit to, why don't they stick? Because until we discover that you're going to keep repeating the same cycle, you will lose a little, gain it back plus more, trying new things without ever fixing the real problem. You're simply throwing shit at the wall, hoping that the next hack and the next quick fix is going to be the one that you're looking for. But as I said, until you know what you're trying to fix, you're never going to know. Once you do know what it is that you are or you need to fix, then it comes down to creating and constructing the right plan. Now, once the problem is clear, the solution becomes simple. Now, a structured plan, the correct plan, is going to come down to one. It includes, strength training, which is prioritize and focus on your goals. Simple nutrition for fat loss, for performance, and also too, one that's going to suit your overall lifestyle, your likes. It avoids your dislikes. It suits your kids, your family, your work, and so forth. Clear progressive targets, so you know that you are making inroads in your performance and being able to track progress. Because once you can do this and you can do it consistently, you will see the trends and the habits and the routines that are forming. You will know exactly what has worked in, let's just say, the last 7 days. So you will know how to pay it forward. And there is nothing more motivating than you knowing that, the next 7 days I invest in this, I'm going to get a reward. I'm going to get a return on my investment, instead of wishful thinking and hope and by chance. There is no more guesswork after that. It just comes down to simple execution. The next one is time, step 4. Now, a lot of the guys I chat with, they're super busy. They might say, I don't have time for this. Now, they do. They make the time, but it comes down to being very precise in your time so you can get the absolute most out of it. It's not about needing more time. It's about having a system that suits the time that you do have, and one that suits your lifestyle. When your training and nutrition are structured properly, you can achieve exceptional results without living in the gym 24/7. I'll even go far as say you can be able to achieve the best results you've ever experienced by training less than 2% of your week. Now, most of the guys I work with, that could equate to maybe 2 to 3 resistance sessions per week, in and out of the gym, 45 minutes. Now, you have the time for that, because the chances are you may be already training 4, 5, 6 times a week. So I could essentially cut that in half, if not more, and speed up progress. It is very, very powerful. As I said, once you find what works and what's winning, you'll always have the time. But we know time in that aspect, like, you've got it. We've just got to prioritize it correctly and what you're doing in your allocated spots. And last one comes down to consistency. Information itself does not create transformation. You already know execution does. And execution that is applied for the long game. And what I mean by that, if you're simply putting up your hand and go, you know what, I want to get shredded for the next 6 weeks and then I'll stop training and go back to my old habits and expect to keep those results. That ain't going to happen. You have to make this part of who you are. And if you're doing it, in a way that suits your goals, your preferences, and your lifestyle, and also to understanding that everything within your lifestyle is organic. Okay, so what I mean by that is once you achieve one goal, it's going to change. Your next goal will change. So it has to be able to be applied for that. So you got to pay it forward again. Also to your lifestyle. So you may be hit with certain requirements and time delays and all that sort of stuff at work, but that might not always be the case in 6 weeks, 6 months. You may have an entirely different time schedule. So whatever you do, it needs to be consistent and it needs to keep working for you. Okay, that's how you make success repeatable. Now, to quickly recap the 5 things I've shared in this training. So the 5-step system is number 1, taking ownership. 2 is truth. 3 is the plan. Number 4 is time. And 5 is having consistency. This is the exact framework that the clients I work with, they follow. Okay, and it's what I can do with you if we're working together as well. Okay, because results like this and what I share on the page below, they are not random. They come from following a system that removes guesswork and makes execution simple and results predictable. Now, as always in life, we have choices. So number 1, at this point, you got 2 options. You can take everything I've shared so far and you can keep doing what you're doing. You can kind of kick this to touch. You can keep hoping that the next fad, next challenge, next quick fix program has got to be the one that makes the difference and the change that you're looking for. Or you can follow a proven system that has been designed specifically for guys just like you, high-performing men over 40 who, you're sick of wishful thinking, you're sick of guesswork, and you just want to have a very simple and replicable format that's going to achieve or give you, I should say, the results that you'll want. Now, here, your next step is super simple. Like if you really want to dial this in, here is what I recommend. You can join me and work together through a process I call the Elite Physique Project. It is private coaching for high performance men who want to drop the body fat. They want to build strength and create a physique that reflects their standards. It's not a challenge. It's not a generic program. It's not a quick fix. It is a structured system for serious execution. And as I said, it's not about here's the stuff, follow it, check back next week. It is something that we work together one-on-one so I can help you achieve your goals. Now, if you want to get started straight away, you can start today, 0 up front. There's nothing to pay right now. You can jump on board with my 7-day onboarding. And during that time, we are going to map out a personalized strategy and build your customized, personalized plan. That system, that plan is going to be built around your goals, your schedule, your body, your lifestyle, everything else that we could think of. So essentially what that does is removes all the guesswork so you can execute with a clear, personalized strategy and the real support and accountability that you need to be able to hit the goals that you want. So the final step, if this resonates with you, the next step is simple. Just simply scroll down on this page, choose a path that best suits you, and let's get started. So again, my name is Josh here from Physique Essentials. Thank you so much for joining me for this training, and I hope to be speaking to you really soon. All right, talk soon.